Hello, everybody. Welcome to a tribute episode of Art Whisper 88. And today's inspiration piece is by American artist Brice Marden. He was an acclaimed American painter, and his abstractions pushed the style in new directions. So this inspiration piece is called Study for the Muses, done in 1991. And I was very attracted to the fluid, meandering lines and gestures across the canvas. And this is characteristics of many of his works. And so I decided to take some inspiration from that concept. So anyways, I'm going to proceed to do something different. This is my piece of watercolor paper, and on top of it I have my bib or my template, and this defines the size of my gel plate, which is 16 inches by 20 inches. And I find that this guide is very useful because I want to make sure that the borders are even regardless of how many layers I print. So taking cue from Mr. Marden's painting, I'm going to do some meandering lines. And I'm going to create some textures. As usually I create the textures with a Sharpie marker, but this time I'm going to draw directly on the paper and just create this mesh of lines in pencil. There's something very satisfying about doing this exercise. It's kind of a warm-up exercise, and it loosens up my creative energy. Okay, so that will be my first layer, and I will proceed to the next step by putting more marks on my gel plate. So I'll be right back. Okay, here we are at the next step. I'm going to do the same thing, but on the gel plate. Just do some meandering lines. With some broken lines. This way I am kind of breaking away from the inspiration piece by doing my own thing, which I think everyone should do. Every time you interpret someone else's work, you should consciously try to make it your own and not copy. Okay, so that's it for the second layer of lines. Now I want to introduce some very bold graphic marks with a wider brush, which you will see in a few moments. I'm just going to mix up some of my acrylic Mars black and use a wide brush to make some marks. Just going to add a little water to make this more like ink. So it spreads on the plate more easily. Okay. Now, in order to have a good transfer, I have to air dry this and then apply another layer of paint on top. So I will be using my desk fan to do that, to speed things up. Okay, everybody, I think by now the first layer of paint has dried. I have to make sure that it's dry, because if it's not, once I use the brayer, it will make a bit of a mess. So I'll try to be as neat as possible. And I'm going to use raw sienna by Acrylic and some unbleached titanium by Artist Loft. Now I'm going to do something called a split fountain, meaning there will be two colors simultaneously. So I will do the top half and the bottom half in raw sienna, and the middle in unbleached titanium. Okay, now hopefully this will be a good transfer. There's no telling sometimes. And just to let you know, I did treat the gel plate with baby oil last night. I really put a lot of oil on the surface of the plate to make sure that the paper doesn't tear. There's a little bit of smearing here on the top, but that's okay. like to save these plastic tubs whenever I buy mushrooms, and they come in very handy. Okay. So here is my first layer with the pencil marks. I'm going to take the bib off. So here it is. Now the pencil marks are very, very light, so maybe you can hardly see them. And as usual, since I'm trying to pick up the first layer, I will leave this on for like 5 minutes. Now in the past, I've left my paper on for more than 5 minutes, and I've gotten into some trouble with tearing. That's because the acrylic paint dries and it becomes like a glue. Now I'm hoping, because I oiled my plate last night, I hope that doesn't happen today. Keeping my fingers crossed. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this for 5 minutes and then I will be right back. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes. Let's see what we have here. I think we have a good transfer. And there are little tiny bits of tearing, but they're very small. I hope they stay small. Oops, got a bad tear. Yep. Pretty cool, in spite of the tears. Now, this part here probably was because the paint was too heavy, but that happens when you use a brush. It's difficult to control. And I'm glad I can still see the pencil from underneath. It's very subtle, but it's there. So you have a better idea once I do a close-up at the end of this video. So I will air dry this and try to repair these rips with some Mod Podge. Okay, here we are at the next step. Now I find the raw sienna color and the titanium a little bit dull, so I want to kind of liven things up with this blue. This is light blue permanent by Liquitex. This is cyan or primary blue by Lucas, and this is a grayish blue by Amsterdam. So I'm going to arrange a whole bunch of reusable stencils and continue. Now, as you can see, I've not been very careful with cleaning my brayer, but I do like these textures, almost like an alligator skin texture, and they might lend some interest to the paint. So I'm going to start with the lighter blue, like so. And my intention really is to blend all these colors together. So there will be some lighter areas, there'll be some darker areas, but hopefully this will contrast with the raw sienna. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is the piece with the second layer. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, pretty cool. I'm going to air dry this, and I think this needs a third layer. Now let me see if I can capture this ghost. As usual, I will leave this for 5 minutes. It'll be a good chance for me to wash out my brayers. Okay, let's see what we have here. Hope this doesn't tear on me. I think this is pretty cool. I love it. This might be a standalone print, and it still carries that inspiration from Brice Marden with the meandering lines. So we'll air dry this and move on to the next step. I'm going to try something crazy. I'm going to use this tube as a writing instrument. Let's see if this works. Looks like the cap is in the way. I'm gonna have to cut this cap off. Okay. It's a pretty wild result. Okay, we'll let this air dry and then keep going. Okay, let's see what we have here. I like that. Very cool. I like this leftover of the orange. Okay, so this gets air dried and then I will recap with all three pieces. Okay everybody, here we are at my favorite part of the video. This is the first print with the black graphic elements, and let me show you a close-up so you can see the very faint pencil mark. Okay, that is print number 1. here's the ghost print. And here's print number 3. I think I like this one the most. So let me put these guys aside next to the inspiration piece so you can see. I hope you like this video. Please give me a thumbs up, like, and subscribe for those who haven't already. And for those who can, I would deeply appreciate it if you lent some support to my PayPal to help keep this channel going. And also please check out my new website, artwhisperer88.com. It's in the description box below. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you next time.